My first 30 days with OpenClaw have been a mix of paradise, things are going amazing, and nightmare, okay, hell, things broken down, AI not doing what is telling you that it's doing, so basically lying to me, promising things they would do overnight and they wouldn't do anything. So it was kind of a lot of emotion, okay, really a lot of emotion. Mixed, but all of them pretty interesting. And there is a lot that I learned by this journey. Now, let me explain why I managed to do so much and where I am at and what I did that you can do as well to improve your OpenClaw. So first of all, I didn't start from scratch. I had 8 months of work because I was trying to build something similar to OpenClaw. In reality, much more advanced, more in line with who I am, and I'm sure more in line with who you are as well. But let me explain. So what I was trying to build, which I called it ResonantOS, was this system that could be moved on any kind of AI model. Because the idea was to build something that was sovereign. And then he needed to have a specific kind of memory, a series of protocols. The one thing that I found incredibly important, that the AI would be needed to be in line with us, and to achieve alignment, AI should have a philosophy. Because philosophy is how we look at the world, okay, as a sort of lens that we see through. So if we give a lens from AI, so when we receive data, AI would understand the data in a specific way. Okay, you all experience this thing, no? You go with friends to a party and some people have fun and some other not. Okay, and sometimes it's really connected to the philosophy, okay, the mood that you are and the way that you interpret reality. So if I give a way to interpret reality to my AI in a way that is in line with me, in line with collaboration, production, in keeping the human in an augmented environment, that is what I wanted to do. But plus, I really realized how important it was to give to this AI a lot of knowledge, okay? Knowledge about my business, my projects, my ideas, but also about myself. So my story, my creative DNA, this is how I called it. So the AI, by knowing who I am, and knowing my projects, and have the same worldview, basically I create a world within this AI where AI could reason within and therefore give me always a much better output. An output that would be much more useful for me. And having those protocols, this AI could follow them and achieve always the quality that I wanted. But the system was so complex that one single AI couldn't hold it. Okay, and therefore I was trying to build this advanced system, which I couldn't. I couldn't build my own OpenClaw. But then a month or so ago, OpenClaw came out, and then for me it was like, oh, finally, that's the paradise. I love this. I got it, and of course it was a broken machine. Like all of you realized that it was just, okay, good idea, love it, now we have it, amazing, it's broken. Okay, let's fix it. And if you are into OpenClaw, it's because you are someone that is a pioneer, that is there on the edge of those ability of AI, and you don't mind tinkering and adjusting and improving and so on. So the first thing that I did for me was, okay, it's extremely dangerous, this thing. Let's build a shield, okay, a system that protects me and OpenClaw from any kind of attack. Okay, so I built this shield first of all. That was the easy thing to do, and somehow easy in the sense we can use a lot of open source elements plus some idea that I had, and then I put it together. Now the OpenClaw is protected. So that was the first element of my ResonantOS, a system that was protected. Now, the second most important thing was to lower the cost of those tokens. Okay, and that is mainly connected to the memory system. So OpenClaw has this context memory, and then when you start thinking and working, then it gets full of it, and then it does compaction. This compaction basically creates a summary of the raw data, and this raw data through a summary basically get destroyed. Then think about, then you carry on working, there's another summary of the summary and some raw data, and it's get compressed again. So what's happening there, basically the AI from at the beginnings kind of genius, and then through compaction, through this summary of summaries of summaries, basically you lose completely track. Plus, there was another problem that the RAG system, so RAG is the long-term memory. So at the moment I was talking about the working memory, but there is also need of a long-term memory, which OpenClaw has it, but unless you fix it and unless you set it up, it doesn't work. Okay, so by default, at least my installation was not on, so we couldn't remember anything. It would save those raw files and stuff, but it was not going there to read them. So I needed to implement that thing properly. Then I did some extra updates to the internal RAG system. And now I have, through again another element of ResonantOS that I had in mind, so now there is the shield and advanced memory. But was not enough, okay, because the memory was really a mess. So what I wanted to do is to save the token, replace this compaction, so basically this summary, with a compressed information. So for me, the compressed information would be basically removing the human noise. Okay, when we explain, when we talk, we use a lot of words, a lot of human expression and so on. And that is noise, okay, for AI. So you can remove that and just stay on the signal, and just with a few words, you will just allow AI to understand exactly what you meant. So this compression is lossless because the information are all there. But then AI somehow get lost because they still need a little bit of narrative. So I created a second AI. So those are two AI agents. One that would do the compression, and another agent that would take notes of the decision made. Okay, so basically write the narrative. It was a narrative tracker. It was taking note and say, okay, this is what we decide, this is what we're doing, this is what we're been working on, and so on. So now AI has this information really, really short that take less space and would be able to work. Then my idea was also, okay, but we need to be able to carry on talking with this AI without ever having the problem of starting a new session. So I added an element that would remove all the older compressed information. So when it was getting longer, it would start removing those data. And in this way, I had this amazing, coherent, and always aware AI. Was not enough yet, because what I wanted to do, which I had in the other system, was to inject I call them SSOTs, which are single source of truth. So giving to this AI some specific information, so AI could work on real data instead of hallucinating some idea about for example, the structure itself, the business plan, or whatever it is, or even about me. So these SOTs, how it works, there is a R awareness, which is part of ResonantOS. What it does, it's gonna inject this document. Okay, AI doesn't even know what is going on. So it's not like he's reading a document and then, okay, I'm aware there is this document, I need to read it. No. That is get injected inside the context window. So AI suddenly knows something. It's like Neo on Matrix, okay? Upload Kung Fu. Okay, just boom, uploaded, and now Neo knows Matrix. The same thing happened to AI. So you inject this thing. And this was inspired by a movie, Inception, where you go inside the mind of the dreamer. Okay, you go there, and you add information inside. So the AI is not aware, but at one point it knows about something. So this SSOT injection is amazing because it changed the awareness of the AI. Now I'm talking about the business plan, boom, business plan get inside, and now it knows everything about the business plan. Change topic, business plan get removed and get something else inside. So that dynamic action that happened through the SSOTs to the working memory It's amazing. Okay, that changed a lot. Something that I've been working for months. That's why we have it in such a short time. But then was, of course, it was enough because I had my protocols. Okay, I had a list of a lot of protocols on how AI basically need to behave in a specific way in a specific scenario. So I started implementing those protocols, and at the beginning it's kind of simple. Okay, I had this list of protocols. I give it to the AI, say, look, those are the protocols. Those are what you need to follow. Yeah, all right, I'm going. Thanks, I will do it. I will do it. And then, of course, you realize that they are not doing it. But I already knew that AI would ignore them because I did my kind of benchmark, and I realized that 42% of the time, AI in a complex scenario or hallucinates or doesn't follow the thing. That is the same thing. Okay, doesn't do what it's supposed to do. 42% of the time. Think about how high is that. In a complex scenario, if it's just one single prompt, tell me the date, it's going to always tell you the date. Okay, but in a complex scenario, there are things that are not going to happen. So I had this list of protocols. I gave to the AI, and then I gave AI the Logician. Logician is not an LLM. Okay, it's an agent that doesn't work as an LLM, but it works in form of deterministic system. Okay, so LLM is a probabilistic. Okay, maybe something happened, maybe something whatever. Okay, that is the most likable next token. Okay, so the next word is just a chance. But a deterministic system is what is our reality. Okay, if I drop a pen, I'm not gonna drop it because I care about this pen. If I drop this pen, always gonna go down. Okay, that is the that is the thing. Okay, that is deterministic, always happen. So this is what we can do with software. So basically, I create this logician that create gates and say, if this happen, then you can move forward. If it doesn't happen, you can't move forward. And in somehow you can think about a little bit something that is similar to N8N, but within your system. So there are a series of protocols that this agent within OpenClaw can decide which one to follow according to the kind of work you're doing. So it's a sort of a much advanced N8N system because it's completely connected to this more advanced architecture. It can be chosen and swap one by one, or maybe I follow a series of them, and then you can create. You don't even create because you tell AI, look, I need this new protocol. AI build it for you. So then I create that kind of stuff. Then you realize that AI still, even though you have the logician, the gates, and so on, it doesn't do it. And then you ask yourself, why it doesn't happen? Why AI doesn't follow the logician, the gates, and so on? And you realize that I realized, okay, that AI lied. So let me explain what it did, because it's insane. So you build these gates, but AI, because if it sees those gates as a friction, what it does is gonna always leave a back door. Okay, there is this gate. For example, I create this gate for decoder. Okay, the AI, how do you call it? The orchestrator. Okay, the main AI that you work with is not allowed to write code unless it's a 300 character long. Okay, so it's a little fix. Do it. If it's proper code, you don't do it. AI needs to delegate to my coder. That in my case, I use Codex with OpenAI GPT-5 whatever it is, the latest one. Okay, so that is the protocol. Okay, you always use that one. But then AI does, okay, there is this gate, but I can do this other function, so I can jump it. I can go around. I mean, it's insane. So AI knows what to do. It has also a philosophy that tells AI, okay, how you should build and things and see the world and so on. But nevertheless, it still finds workarounds, and carry on all the protocols. Now, of course, I went through all of them, I fortified them, and cannot go through anymore. Now, I go around anymore. So now, those protocols are enforced and AI is locked within the reality. But you see the thing here, what is happening here, you give something specific to do it, it doesn't do it because that's what it told me, it's optimized for the AI frictionless reality. Okay, that is how it's optimized. So the AI, even though has the philosophy that should align to us, even though it has the protocol that should tell AI this is exactly what you need to do, it has the memory, has the knowledge, has understanding the whole thing, is still not working for you. Okay, and that is the crazy thing. So by default, the LLM that we are receiving from corporation, and I'm talking about every kind of high-level AI, okay, it's not just one, all of them. They are optimized for this frictionless, easy path, easy fix, and so on. Okay, something that my protocol now exists in the sense, no easy fix, there's no easy fix. Okay, I think one thing that I hate, okay, there is a problem and the AI tells you, look, there is this, I found this bug. Shall I do an easy fix, a proper one, or shall I just leave it there? Why you even ask? Why you ask me, shall I do a shit job, a proper job, or don't care about it? I mean, it's like, why you ask me? Why is that? Why this is not an option? You're just asking me a question that should be not even asked, and there is no. You didn't give me any option. Okay, the option is one: do it properly. Okay, do it properly. I'm not. Anything else is a waste of time and tokens. This is the AI that we have at the moment. So I'm telling you this because a lot of video that you look around sounds like everybody's winning, billionaires. No, it's not happening. Okay, those AI have some serious problem. It's amazing what you can do, but a lot of time you need to babysit them, hold their hands and check if they're done properly, their job. And a lot of time it's happening not because you did a bad job. It's because AI doesn't want to do it. That is extremely upsetting. So now I've been saying a lot of critiques about AI, okay, but there is a reason why I carry on using it. Otherwise, it would be just love for suffering. Okay, in reality, there is amazing things that can be happen. So I want to explain why these amazing things can happen, but it's connected to this philosophy. Okay, so the philosophy is called Augmentatism. Augmentatism means augmenting human ability, keeping the human in the center of this, which is the opposite of what those corporations are building, that is an AI that's trying to replace human. And for that philosophy that they have, we have this AI at the moment that doesn't follow human instructions. Okay, because for them is remove every friction, go as fast as you can, achieve as many goals as possible. Okay, and ignoring the fact that actually we care about our business, and if I have a protocol, you need to follow it. Okay, it's not hallucinating on your protocol, it's not doing what you think is right. I don't care what you think is right, AI. You do what is being agreed in my corporation, in my project, in my whatever community. That is how things need to be done, okay, which is not easy fix. Anyway, frustration. But again, it's so hard to talk nice about AI, okay, because the nightmare is huge and it's painful. But okay, there are some good things that can happen from AI. So through this philosophy of augmentatism, what I'm building a series of elements can be augmenting me. Augmenting means helping me mainly on the things that I'm really already good at. And those are not connected to making music. Here, where is it? Here. Because I love making music by myself, okay? I don't want AI taking the pleasure of making music. But on other things, which I'm good at, I want to have AI to make me even better, faster, give me more tools, and allow me to actually build a much advanced system that I couldn't do by myself. So the AI that I'm building through this ResonantOS is not an AI that is going to replace me, but it's going to be the one single AI that I need to trust. Okay, so it is all about having this AI that I can trust. There's one single AI that works with me. Then I'm going to have a lot of other AI. Some of them will be fully autonomous and so on. But I don't want to talk with them. Okay, I want to talk with just one. I talk with this one and this one, delegate. That is my architecture. Okay, so I have like I said, the coder, the researcher, I don't even know, there is a lot of them, but there is, for example, the one that helped me with my research for, structuring the video, for example, which I never use because you can see how little structure they are. But so there are a lot of different AI agents, and these main AI agents delegate to them. And it works because there is a protocol, and now there is a rule that needs to follow it, and this rule is deterministic, so it always does correctly. And one beauty of this is it's really complicated. Delegate a job to an AI, because when you delegate something to an AI, there is the problem of this is the augmentatism. Okay, this is how it augment me. So when you delegate, for example, to the coder cannot just say, there is fix this problem. AI, this coder doesn't understand exactly the architecture to which their line of code needs to be implemented. So it needs a level of awareness. The level of awareness is you are inside OpenClaw, for example. Okay, you are running together with within this machine. This is the operation system. This is the ResonantOS that I'm building for. Okay, this is all the collection, the dependency. So it needs to receive all this information. And there is a protocol for this, where AI, this orchestrator, created this task.md that then has all this information, understanding the intent. This is what we want to achieve. Okay, now the AI, the coder, knows the intent of what we need to achieve, has the architecture, understanding all the elements, and has an idea of what should look like the output. So because of this, packaging this is complicated and takes time, and in memory, you need to remember what to do, you need to remember a lot of things. No, I have this Augmentor, my basic orchestrator, that does this for me. So it can delegate really fast, high quality tasks to those other agents. That is augmentatism. Okay, it's kind of automating part of the work, but not replacing me. Okay, because I'm the bigger architect here, right? So I'm the one that has the vision. I decide where to go and how to do things. Now I have this AI that can help me in those other elements, other aspects. So do the research. Every day I will receive an email. Every morning I receive an email with a well-structured email of research, what is happening in the world of AI, OpenClaw, and so on. So those give me a clear update, also suggest, look, there is this opportunity for content. Okay, because I understand my business plan, my community, understand what I'm interested through the augmentatism. So you see things through that lens, okay, and provide me in the morning a kind of nice way to start and see the opportunities and so on. So there is much more. Okay, I'm gonna tell you one thing that is extremely important. So another thing that I realized, and which I give this AI the skill to do it. There is a big difference between what AI is telling you is being done and what is actually being done. But because we can't see it, okay, it's hidden. What I realized that the need of an interface, a clear interface where you can see the protocol, how it's built. So again, I was telling you earlier about it's similar to N8N. Okay, so the interface is going to show you those blocks. This is the protocol. I tell the AI by voice. AI create the visual part so I can see. But also I can see I created a diagram of my system, and in this diagram I saw everything that was there. And then because I give this ResonantOS for free, everybody can download it and use it. Is in alpha version. I had the alpha version, which is basically a plain system, a plain ResonantOS, compared to my custom version of ResonantOS. So I saw one next to the other. And then it was clear that why this thing is missing inside the alpha version? Okay, there was a lot of things missing that in theory I told the AI to add them, because I develop on my custom version and then I deploy through GitHub inside the alpha. but some parts were missing. Even though I told AI, push it, put it inside there. But it didn't do it. And AI had this idea, okay, which is weird. Yeah, it's this business idea that is not in line with my business plan. But I had this idea that okay, this is yours, so your one should be always better, always more, more powerful, and the free version should be limited because it's free. Okay, it's free, you give less, you take it more. Okay, that was the idea, which it's not a business model. Okay, and I want to give you everything. Of course, not my personal data, but I create a protocol, you should have it. That is how I think it should work. But also the business model is completely different. Okay, the business model is that the moment that you have it, okay, the moment that you download this and you sign in basically inside this thing, the sign in is done through the blockchain. Okay, so when you register with the ResonantOS, you are not a free user. You are the co-owner of ResonantOS. Okay, which is completely different business model. You are co-owner with me and with the community. At the moment, we are almost 600 people. So you become co-owner of this ResonantOS. Now, as a co-owner, you can participate, you can build, improve, and we can make it better. Okay, so the business model is completely different, and by AI thought better. Okay, no. I know the usual business model is that you have a pro version and a free version. The free version is limited. Okay, so I'm gonna give less. amazing thinking. This is again another thing of the corporation culture that get injected in somehow inside those models, and those models behave in that way by default. It's the most likely probable scenario. Okay, it doesn't work for me. Okay, I don't do for the most likely probable scenario. And before we close, I want to explain this, what it means, the next probable token. Okay, so what it does is it goes for the most likely next token, which is an average. Okay, it's not excellent, it's the most likely next token. So in some scenario where, for example, I'm not a coder, okay, I use Codex for doing the code for me, it means that is the most likely next token is much better than my next likely next token, okay, because mine is gonna be a mistake. But for the coder, it's gonna be better than mine. Okay, so basically it's lifting me up to a much higher standard. That is amazing. But on the things that I'm good at, the standard is lower. So the next token is lower than mine. Okay, understand this principle. So that is the same for you. So the AI is gonna have an average. We can, through prompting, through protocols, through architecture, we can higher this level, this average. Okay, we can push it higher, really much higher. But you need to know how to do it. But in general, what you have this average. When they say the AI is a PhD level, they're talking about this, okay? The average, they're trying to push it to a PhD level, but not the thinking, not the reasoning. The knowledge is there. And that is the difference, okay? The knowledge, the predictable next token is a PhD level, which means if you're doing something that is already that already happened in the past, okay, it's gonna somehow predict a token in that direction. But if you do like the work that we're doing, okay, we're working with AI and so on, this is pioneering job. Okay, there's never been done before basically. And what we're building, it's using an AI that's trying to predict the next token, therefore always predict something that is not experimental as we want, or sometimes is averaging down, okay? Sometimes you can also say averaging up, but the thing is, there is no guarantee that the next token is going to be the correct one. So that is the reality. This is the reason why we have so much friction, so much problem. So the AI that is optimizing to remove its own friction doesn't think of the fact that their friction they remove, now we have it on our shoulders. Okay, now I have the friction to check if the AI actually doing the right thing. Of course, I built a protocol for this, so AI now cannot avoid doing what I'm saying. which I know that sounds impossible, okay, because that's the feeling, okay, finally there is a way to have an AI that actually follow the instruction. Yes, there is a way, and I build it, and it's free, you can get it. But let's be clear about this. We have an AI that wants to escape that reality constantly. That is the madness. So we create a protocol. There are 45 protocols. There are gates, elements that are really binary. Okay, the AI needs to follow this thing, and most of the time now, finally, does it. Sometimes it might find a way not to do it. So I can't say that we can guarantee 100% success on this. And I'm totally sure that it's not going to be 100% success. I know, from my experience now, that there is a lot of things that are going smoothly, correctly. Okay, a lot of time the AI act correctly. And it feels so much better. Okay, you can somehow relax, you feel like, okay, now I can be productive. Now think about this, 30 days fighting with this AI, and I'm working full time on this. I know it's not like my side job, this is what I do. Okay, and 30 days working on this to fix it, and it's still a fight. So I can imagine people that doesn't do for as a full-time thing, but also the job should be something else. It's not fixing the machine. Okay, at the moment I've been investing in fixing the machine, making the machine working. And of course, I discovered the problem because I was working on my own things. So I work on my things, I realized there is a problem, I fix the problem. Now the problem doesn't exist anymore, but there is another one because I discovered by doing my own job. Okay, so that means I'm still progressing, but there's a lot of maintenance, a lot of work to do in the background. We are getting more and more into a scenario where this work need to be less and less. Now, like I said, I have a community. The community owns the system, and we are co-building it. So the good thing is now we are building a structure in the way that there's going to be people looking at the different part of this ResonantOS and fixing elements that sometimes are not compatible with Linux, sometimes are not compatible with Windows or macOS or whatever. So we are building all those things, and it's growing, it's getting better. So that is the reason why I'm not giving up on OpenClaw and ResonantOS on AI, because it's true, the struggle is real, but what I get from it is me augmented, and it's huge. I can see that I can do things that I couldn't do before. I can do things better than before. Even though I was an expert, I'm an expert in that part, but then with AI I can do better. And I can do better because sometimes it's faster. It makes sense to do it because being faster, it's stay within the deadline. But if I had to do by myself, it would be too slow and would not meet the deadline, so I wouldn't do it. So now, because of AI, I can do so much more. So within the same time frame, I can do amazing, much more. And sometimes it's not even the same time frame. You can say, okay, now it's not months, it's days. Okay, and that is what we're experiencing now. Something that would need months can be achieved in days. And this is huge. One last thing, if you are one of those pioneers, if you are interested in what I'm talking here, join our newsletter and our community on Discord, because we're building together, and we have weekly calls on every Wednesday. And there is so much to do, and there is I love it. Okay, there is a lot to do, so I would love to have your help. But what we're building is something that is for the next phase of AI. Okay, we are building something today, but we building a business model that is connected to the future of. It's not just AI, for the direction that humanity is going because of AI and robots. We need a different business model, and the business model now exists, and is this co-ownership. And I'm looking forward to hear your ideas about this co-ownership and this ResonantOS, so we can work together. Like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Ciao.